Place the blue welcome to SSO. This is one more video. Place the blue marker on the oxygen track blue 0 and the red marker on the oxygen tracks the red space living equal to the number of living crew. That's times 2. That's 12. So it sticks on 12 because 6 times 2 is 12. Okay. This is the amount of oxygen already available for use in the Omega. Place one of the half-circle blip markers next to each crew's oxygen 0 and morale 4. One simple note is that the generalist here has 5, so you don't put everything on max. And this kind of stuff should have been on a quick reference card, because now you have to read every time that you set up the book, and it's impossible to remember. Okay, place one of the half circle. The oxygen on crew cards represent the crew's personal oxygen, accessible only to them. There is a problem with this guy that wrote this. The guy was Glenn Ford. Glenn Ford has some problem with printing the comma. Accessible. Already put several dozen of commas here. Accessible only to them. And the only way. This is a B marker. I was hoping for a 2B marker because let me check if I have a 2B marker. Most pencils are HB, H, HB, H. I must have a B and a 2B somewhere else, but I would put a comma here. And the only way of surviving in external locations, it begins at 0 since the ship's general supply. And this is not indentation, but it's printed background. And the only way of surviving in external locations is begins at 0, since the ship's general supply means that there is plenty to breathe on the ship for now. Shuffle and place face down the red-backed challenge deck. That's this deck, 24 cards, perfectly logical. And place the 6 mission cards out separately, number side up. Now I missed it the first 2 times I read it, so it's number side up, and these things should be, this is text side up and this is number side up. Okay. And it seems obvious now, but if you read it in the bed, you tend to miss small essential text. Shuffle and stack a blue-backed activation deck, and you're ready to begin. It doesn't say, well, this is a blue-backed activation deck, but it doesn't say face up or face down. But let's assume that it is face down. Then there is the may, must, and try. Where may is you can do at your will. You must is either everything or nothing, and try is as much as possible. That's explained here, but in a really obtuse way. For example, this is the literal instruction: must. When an instruction reads must, then the following instructions have to be followed exactly as written, or none of the listed instructions are performed, though players are free to choose to follow none of the instructions. What the fuck? Just say you either do everything or you do nothing, and this decision is up to the player. That's this must will feature in actions and activation cards. Yeah, I guess. Try it's to be followed as fully as possible. Try will feature in actions and challenge cards. So we've seen this in previous video. Then there's the must here. Must reduce general oxygen by 6. May increase this crew personal oxygen by 6. This means that general oxygen has to be reduced by exactly 6 or nothing happens. So, for example, if the general oxygen is 6, then you can decide that nothing happens, because the players are free to choose. And this is extremely annoying. Why put on a second edition this kind of crap? Okay, at the end of the challenge, and the example says, if it is reduced, then the astronauts' own oxygen can then be increased. So the must may in a single sentence means that if you do, then you can. That is totally not clear from the must and can stuff. So it's an if then else mostly. Yeah. So or none. Okay. We'll see if it is as complicated as I think it is. Then challenge fans try to reduce highest ranking player. This is for the voting. It's not really necessary to put it here. The highest ranking player is the player who has the crew card with the highest rank in front of them. And for solo, it is just the crew. It's you. There's nobody else. Then if the choice is ever unclear, the highest ranking player chooses. It's nice for multiplayer. Then the timing issues in a turn sequence. The turn sequence, a turn in SSO consists of a series of steps. That's 3 plus 6 plus 19 steps. It sounds daunting at first, but they are very simple steps, small steps. So at the start of each step, white locations are attached, flip up. At the end of each step in crew in face down, add a comma please. Crew in face down locations die. This means that pods with face up solar arrays attached that are flipped face down will remain face down as just as long enough to kill the crew within. Then if that is what you want, why don't you reverse this? Just say at the end of each step crew in face down locations die, and at the start of each step white locations at the start of each. So for example the next step they flip face up again. That's far more logical. So flip these two sentences. Then crew in face down locations die irrespective of personal oxygen levels. Okay, cool. So you have an oxygen tank and you still die. That's not thematic. Unless you say that the rooms are capable of killing crew. Okay, sorry for the glare. Quick start, your first turn. This is what we're going to do. Next video. Activation phase, check phase, challenge phase. That's the turn of SSO. You now have a mission with success conditions. Figure out how to compete them. Here, second edition. How to compete them. How to complete them, idiots. Don't save up on editing. Yeah, okay. The rules were available online, so I could have taken it up for me to proofread them for free, but I'm really past that phase by now. I'm not going to clean up somebody else's crap. The editors should be paid, by the way. If crew needs to breathe and there is no oxygen, they die. If they are alone in a location with no morale, they die. If they're in a location when it flips over, they die. If a challenge card says they die, they die. Refer to the quick reference cards for the gameplay steps and go back to the activation phase. This activation phase here. Activation phase. It goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3 goes to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So is this 4, does it belong to the 3 or does it belong to the step behind 3? I mean, come on. 6 mission succeed. And this happens here again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. So the jump from 5 to 7 means that this all is 6.1 to 6.5. So graphically, not good. I'll find some crew die, death phase, add crew, revive crew, discussion. Yeah, so this is everything. So we're going to play a full turn and see how it goes. Bye.